Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Hey, coming at you from Los Angeles, California.
Oh, no.
It's the Stay of Homekins podcast.
Hi. Welcome to Stay of Homekins.
Paul asked me if I was high before we started.
You're very giggly. You're laughing at nothing.
I wish. I wish.
You could be if you wanted to be.
Could I?
Yeah.
On air? Who am I, Cheech? Who are you, Chong?
This is what we must ask ourselves every day.
Ladies and gents, this
Hello, everybody.
is Stay of Homekins, the pandemical podcast. I am Janie Haddad Tompkins.
I am Paul F. Tompkins.
He's a comedian.
She's an actress.
Together, we're the Tompkinses and the Homekinses.
That's right. We're all of those things.
And the podcastses. What?
Yeah, take a listen.
A little weekend water.
Yes. We are still doing this podcast.
This'll solve it.
Yeah, that'll solve it.
This'll smooth out the edges.
Here we are, everybody.
What day is it? What year is it? What life is it?
You know what day it is because
I know it's Friday.
We're doing this, it's Friday.
What year is it? I know it's 2021. What life is it? The simulation is broken.
It's the simulation. It's broken. Honestly, do you ever think about that simulation stuff? Do you lend that any credence whatsoever?
Okay, so let me just make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
When you say simulation stuff, do you mean what? Like that movie?
Do you think we are living in a simulation?
Like that movie, The Truman Show? Like a light's going to come from the
That's
sky?
not a...
Oh, that's not a simulation.
The what?
I never saw that movie. I've seen clips of it.
Honey,
I don't want to see that.
The Matrix is the go-to movie for the simulation,
not the
Truman Show.
I told you I fell asleep in the Matrix. I told you I was lulled into some kind of hypnotic seizure moment seeing that in the theater.
Yes.
The Matrix is
what? You did
what?
tell me that. I forgot to file that away for
The Matrix
reference.
is what? We get to take a pill, and then the pill is another way. It's like an alternative.
I do have to turn down the levels a little bit because I'm listening and it's peaking.
Y'all, this sound situation.
Yes, we did a poll. We did an very informal poll. We did not hire professional pollsters, but we did an informal Instagram poll at Stay of Homekins on Instagram.
And Twitter.
Oh, did you do it on Twitter too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. And we asked people if they had issues with the sound because
a listener is like...
You heard me say because, right?
I mean, yeah. Sure.
Because
I just had a bunch of sugar. I think that's what it was.
There it is.
I ate those cookies really fast.
Yes.
Like my life depended on it.
Yes.
I ate those cookies.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Eat these cookies or your family is done for. That's the new Saw movie. Where the guy in a room with a bunch of cookies.
And you know what? A good product.
You must eat these cookies in a half hour.
Good product partnership with Keebler. You see what I mean?
Yeah, Keebler, I think, wants their cookies associated with torture porn.
Please go on.
So, we have had over the course of the almost year that we've been doing this, the occasional comment.
Sorry.
The occasional comment that the sound is a little too quiet. Now, it's not been a ton of people, so we didn't really think about it too much because, if the majority of the people are not seeming to have an issue with it, then maybe it's only an issue for that one. Sometimes it is like a thing where it's like, that's your problem. But we don't want to dismiss it out of hand. No,
and also, and I started doing a new thing on last week's episode that hopefully improved the sound.
Yes. So we did, after last week's episode dropped, we did this little poll on social media. And I gotta say, the results are inconclusive because we asked, is it too quiet for you? And how do you listen to the show?
Yeah, because now I started to, like, at first I thought, oh, it's the person's devices.
Yeah, because there's so many factors. There's so many factors.
But then I started like just unscientifically, I think it's different apps.
That's what I'm saying.
It's different apps.
There's so many different things that it could be that could determine what your listening experience is. Are you listening on headphones? Are you listening in your car? Like, there's all kinds of stuff like that.
Well, the person who said they couldn't hear, they're listening with noise canceling headphones, and they still can't hear us on max volume.
Yes, they worked I believe they said they worked in a place where there's a loud place.
But here's the thing. Here's what I would suggest if you're having trouble listening, just to try it out. Go to the direct link where our RSS feed is on the web, at buzzsprout.com. I post that on Twitter, and I can post it it's in the bio of our Instagram as well, I believe. And try to listen directly from the host's website. That's my
I'm gonna double check
suggestion.
That.
Because I'm wondering if there is a better volume before it gets like passed around to all of these different distribution sites. That might be something.
Our Instagram bio. Did you say Twitter bio or Instagram bio?
I said Instagram bio.
Instagram bio is our merch link.
Okay. Buy our merch, guys.
Torn between wanting people to have a better listening experience or buying our merch.
Kinshipgoods.com. If you haven't checked out that site yet, you're missing out.
I feel bad for you.
And new merch is coming down the road.
So here's the thing. We are trying to figure this out. We want to make it so that a lot of people did say that they don't have a problem with it, but our podcast is quieter than other podcasts.
To which I say, yeah.
Yeah, but we will figure this out. And I don't feel like when I've listened back to it, I typically listen to podcasts through earbuds and don't recall having that issue with our show.
I've never had an issue when I've listened back to our show.
Yeah.
But I'm not in a loud place typically.
That's also true. So what we will do is try to figure this out. I have some people I can consult.
Oh, no. That's going to be more work for me.
Why is it going to be more work for you?
Because I'm the producer. I'm like the admin.
I don't understand how it's going to be more work for you. Because I'm going to tell you something?
Yeah. You're going to... There's going to be
I got to hear from this guy now?
something else. Man, I can't. Okay. By the way,
what do you think? What is the worst case scenario? What information do you think I'm going to bring to you?
That there's going to be another step involved. Like, you got to do this or you got to do that. And I
bet it's probably more on the recording end rather than the post end, but we'll see. We'll find out.
Well, then good. That's your department.
That's right. We record on a Zoom H6. And it's 2 mics plugged into the Zoom, and then
they're Shure mics.
We pop out the card.
Shure mics.
SHURE.
Shure.
Good old Shure 58s. I think they're 58s.
I don't know.
For all you sound nerds out there.
We have it compressed. That happened on one episode. It wasn't compressed. Boy, did I hear about that. Got the settings.
But we'll figure it out.
Got the vocal compression.
But look,
button.
here's the thing. So now I have our levels turned up, but it gets very peaky. And look, let's be honest.
Does it get Peaky Blinders?
It gets very Peaky Blinders. A show that I've tried to watch a few times and it just wouldn't take.
Haven't tried to watch.
Maybe I'll try again.
What's the deal with that show? Is it like a gangster thing or something?
It's gangsters in old-timey Ireland. Northern Ireland, maybe?
I mean, sure.
Maybe they're in England. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm just going to wait for the Sex and the City reboot.
The wonderful Sam Neill is in it.
Your friend. He follows you on Twitter.
I wonder if he still does.
Okay. When Sam Neill started following Paul on Twitter.
That was an exciting moment.
I had like a whole scenario mapped out. Like your like BFF relationship was going to.
Has not taken off. Pretty sure he's muted me. Don't blame him.
Okay. So, anywho, well, those.
Annie, don't do any hoozles.
I can't help it.
Why can't you help it? You never do that. You're wired.
Up on sugar right now. By the way, I totally botched the dinner. I botched the dinner. It was barely.
We had a tofu stir fry that was maybe a little too gingery.
Here's the deal, y'all.
Everybody shut up. Here's the deal.
I make the Momofuku ginger scallion sauce like all the time. Practically don't even have to look at the measurements.
It's very good.
Maybe I do need to look at the measurements because this particular time around, it was a very overwhelmingly spicy, and that was the only flavor, was the ginger. And there was something about the scallions. I think they were too young or something. Because those scallions that came in the grocery, we had to get our groceries delivered, y'all.
Do you remember when we saw
we're not allowed to leave
young scallions at Doug Weston's Troubadour?
Is the Troubadour still hanging in there? That place,
as far as I know,
I like hearing music there. It's good.
It's a great place.
Do not like parking there.
Great music venue here in Los Angeles, in West Hollywood.
I don't like to go that far west, personally.
Doug Weston himself, played by Tate Donovan in the movie.
Oh yeah, what was the
Queen? What was the name of that movie?
The one with the metal band. It was the metal band movie, Metallica. And they were like,
no, honey, no. The Dirt, that one?
Yeah, that movie was fun.
He was not in that movie. It was the Rami Malek, the Queen movie.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
No, it was Elton John. It was Elton John.
Movie. We got there at the same time.
Yeah, because I don't even think Queen played the Troubadour.
No, probably not. What an amazing show that would have been.
I think Elton John played the Troubadour.
Queen playing the Troubadour.
But the
Dirt.
Elton
John, that was his first.
Dirt, they did play. Like what? Like the whiskey or like.
Yeah, the whiskey. Yeah. They were not playing the Troubadour.
They weren't playing the Troubadour.
No.
All these rock clubs in LA, y'all. You have to keep him straight.
Elton John, when he was in his overalls
But
phase.
they did that scene in that Rocket Man movie. No, I know this is going to be a spoiler if you haven't seen it. Who was the guy who played him? Egan something or other? Or
Chris Edgerton? Is that his name?
I thought he had a weird. Anyway, they did this whole thing where
Edgerton not weird enough for you?
I thought his first name was weird. Chris is not a weird first name.
Were you seeing it in the phone book maybe, and that's why?
Y'all, I missed the phone book. Well, I'll get back to that in a minute.
Oh, okay, yeah, we will definitely get back to that because this is news to me. I missed the phone book.
Okay. And he was at the Troubadour and he started levitating. Remember?
Yes.
And I thought that was so clever.
He was playing the piano and he's so into it and the crowd is so into it.
I liked that movie.
I like that movie too. That was a very enjoyable watch. It was a very enjoyable watch and I thought he did a good job with the songs.
Yeah, he did. He did do a good job with the songs.
Editing was better than the Queen movie. Why can't I remember? Was it called We Will Rock You? What was that movie called?
The Queen movie?
Yeah. Was it called We Will Rock You?
It could not have been called that.
Are you sure? I bet that's just as good a title as whatever it was. I can't believe we have to look this up.
Y'all, we're not high.
We're not.
We're not high and we're not even drunk. And that is the truth of the matter is that this is what we have pandemic brain. We have pandemic brain.
Guess what it was called?
No, give me a hint. Don't tell me.
It is a Queen song.
Okay.
That's a big hint.
It's a Queen song.
Yes.
So there was We Will Rock You, which it's not. And then there's We Are the Champions.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's exactly right. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Of course.
It was not called Fat Bottom Girls. It was not called Bicycle Race. It was not called Teams of Flash Gordon.
I liked the Queen movie.
You liked it more than I did. I will say it was to me, it's the problem with biopics is that they all end up feeling the same and they all feel like they were made by the same person.
But
you know
I will say Rocket Man was not like
Rocket
that.
Man was very well done because it was
creative.
more of a musical.
Dreamy.
They did it like it was a musical. Yeah. But Bohemian Rhapsody, I will say that the recreation of the Live Aid set was so good.
So exhilarating.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exhilarating is a good word to
that
use.
was like, I mean, I wasn't even expecting to like that movie because we got the screener. I remember when we watched it. We were in South Carolina
over Christmas time.
And I was just like, I just loved it.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
Look, that music.
But also, Rami Malek is really good.
Those songs do a lot of heavy lifting for that movie because
those songs are meaningful.
Can't help but they're so great. They're so great.
What is what is your favorite biopic?
The first thing that comes to mind is 24-Hour Party People, which is Steve Coogan as this legendary, I believe a Manchester music manager, promoter, whose name I can't remember because it was not somebody that I heard of. We should watch that. I could watch that again because I remember it being really enjoyable.
Well, you love Steve Coogan.
Yeah, I do.
You're like a big Steve Coogan fan. And
then we went don't act like you don't like him.
I like Steve Coogan. I think he's fine. I like maybe a little scared of him.
What? Tell me about this.
I just feel like because remember we saw that movie, it was like, oh God, it had like a weird name, and he's like making a movie. It's like a movie within a movie.
Oh, Tristram Shandy.
Yeah,
yeah.
But he was like playing like himself.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was like a total narcissistic asshole.
Yes. And
I was like, I don't know if I want to meet him if he's like that.
Yeah.
And you were saying like, I think he like that is it is like based on his, like he was turning a mirror on himself or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about him personally. Like I don't know a lot about his personal life. I do know that he was kind of tabloid fodder for a while.
Like he had a messy period in his life or something.
Yeah. And with like maybe some coke and with infidelities and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like,
so I don't know how much he is in those movies or in the Trip, how much he is actually saying this is me or if he's saying this is the perception of me. I have no idea.
Well, then like we went to that premiere party and he was like there.
Oh, for Tenacious D.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe we can say hi to Steve Coogan and like, you know, get a dumb picture or whatever. And then I was like, no, I don't want to talk to anybody.
I didn't want to either.
The only person I would talk to would be Jack Black.
Yeah.
Because he's nice.
We didn't stay long.
Jack Black is nice.
Jack Black is nice.
Because the party was kind of people were snooty at that party.
I don't remember that. Here's what I remember.
People were looking around.
I remember that it was a loud Hollywood party.
Well, because it was at the Roosevelt Hotel and it was like echoey. It was like before they did their renovation or something.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like, and I was in the movie and I didn't feel connected to that party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a small part in the movie.
But also, I did not see Jack Black at that party.
I remember seeing him at a table kind of surrounded by people.
Okay.
In some booth. But that was a weird, I remember the best premiere party we've ever been to.
Wait, how do we know it's the same one? Because I have one loaded up.
We know it's the same one because we talked about it. Yeah.
Okay. Can we say it on the same time?
Yes.
The name of the movie at the same time?
Yes. 3, 2, 1. Tangled. Yeah. I did a voice in the Disney movie Tangled and got invited to the premiere.
Which was also kind of a surprise because it wasn't like a huge part in that you thought you'd get invited to the premiere.
No, and I was delighted. And so we went and had a wonderful time.
Was at the, okay, so there's this theater in Hollywood called the El Capitan, and it's like it's across from like the Grauman. It's like right in Hollywood. Yeah. And it was
at some point it was bought by Disney.
I was going to say, it's like a Disney owned.
Yes.
Big one screen old, school theater with like a live organist.
Yes, that's right.
There's like a live organist that plays throughout
as people
the movie.
Are coming in, not throughout the movie. It's not silent films. Here's what's great.
One day it was that.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Yes.
Back in the day.
To be fair, yes. But what happens is you go in and there's a guy on stage playing this great big organ.
Yeah, that's part of like the theater.
Yes. And then when the movie starts, he sinks into the stage. It's great.
He dips.
It's very exciting.
He dips down. And also Tangled was like I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know much about the movie. I just knew it was like the Rapunzel story. And it was such a beautiful movie.
It's beautiful.
But it was like complicated too, because it's like about a bad mom and all this stuff. It was like kind of like heady.
Yeah.
So then
it's a good movie.
So then this is across the street from this mall. And okay, it just so happens that this indoor-outdoor mall opened the year that I moved here from Manhattan. And since I didn't have a car and I lived enough in walking distance to the Hollywood Highland Mall, I got a job at the Neutrogena kiosk slinging face creams.
A mere block from the famous Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Yes. And when this mall opened, it was very funny because there's like a big like statue of a empty couch. It's like the casting couch or something.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
So, I mean, on the one hand, it's like, I'm glad you're acknowledging this, I guess, but do you really want it to be like... We have to include this. We have to include this.
It's like weird.
A lot of people fuck their way to the top.
And I think you can see the Hollywood sign from it. I can't remember fully. This was a while ago because it was only one of my jobs.
Like if you went up on the upper tier, you could see the Hollywood sign.
It was like
maybe?
that main tier, the main one where the kiosks were.
Oh, really?
I think it was like back behind California Pizza Kitchen.
This, by the way, the name of the mall is just Hollywood and Highland, right?
The Hollywood Highland Mall.
Right.
But also, like, the mall itself is, like, modeled after this movie set. Some famous, like, movie set that they shot in the desert with, like, elephants on the pillars.
I think Intolerance, maybe, by D.W. Griffith?
Yeah, that sounds like it would be it, because I'd never heard of it.
Right.
And I was like, that's what you're going to model it after?
Yeah.
You could have built the Titanic.
And this thing had been in construction for the longest time.
I had not lived here so much.
Oh, man. I remember.
Because I was off on the East Coast.
I was here before it was built, and it had been talked about. And then they finally started making it, and then it was way behind schedule, and it was way over budget and all this. And then when they finally finished it, it was instantly the worst mall. It had like the worst stores.
Trashy.
Real trashy.
But there were like also like expensive stores like Swarovski's crystals or whatever. Yeah. I mean, so it was like this nouveau. It was like if a Kardashian was a mall. That is what it was.
I remember the weirdest thing to me was there was a Nestle Toll House store.
Oh, and there were like rats in that store. Like there were rats.
That reminds me of New York. When you walk past like a bakery at night, and then you can see through the glass, you can see all the rats running around.
I mean, like in New York, the biggest rat I've ever seen was in Washington D.C.
Was his name Donald J. Trump? Yes! Yes! This is our last episode.
Who had the sugar?
We're never going to beat that.
Who had the sugar?
I also had some sugar.
All I know is, so I got this job as a Neutrogena kiosk. It was one of my jobs. I will say my first day have I told this story on this podcast? Because y'all, I don't know what the fuck is going on
I don't think you have.
Well, I'm not going to tell that story. I just want to tell the story of my first day.
Now you have to tell that story.
No, I want to tell that story. Well, maybe I will. I don't know.
You can't ever say, I'm not going to tell that story on a recording. That's so cruel.
I'm trying to get to the goddamn Tangled premiere party.
I could have gotten us there faster.
And the magic of it. I feel like this backstory is integral to the full circle.
Interesting. Okay.
At least for me.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. On my first day of work, I needed a coffee and there's a McDonald's across the street. So I run into the McDonald's across the street. And this is like, I want to say like my third day in Los Angeles, which was literally like 4 weeks after the towers fell. Like I was like I had taken a train to Charleston. In the interim, I had like bought a car for $900 on Craigslist. Like, you know, got rid of my apartment, found a roommate in Hollywood and like made the decision. I was just like going. So I packed all these suitcases and I got on a plane and I flew out to LA and I was like, this is it. This is my life now, you know? So I get this job at that damn Hollywood Mall slinging fucking Neutrogena's face, which by the way, were like all like $1 more than at the Walgreens. So it was like people would come up and they'd be like, do you have the acne, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, here. And they're like, it's $1 more than at the Walgreens. Like, why would I buy it here?
Should have bought it at Walgreens, bitch. You know, the price is back and forth.
Like, whatever. Yeah. So anyway, so I use this coffee store, running to the McDonald's across the street. And I'm literally like, almost like so... I don't know, PTSD'd, you know, and there was like a ripped out piece of notebook paper, like stuck haphazardly up on the wall next to the cash register, and that where someone had written as in a Sharpie, like Juan, employee of the month.
You never told me.
What? And I was
good
like,
for you, Juan.
And then I was like, okay, this is Hollywood, like, because this is supposed to be like like Times Square, you know, this brand new sparkling mall and everything.
Congrats, man.
So then I run over there, and like people coming through that damn breezeway in that mall, and they'd want like makeovers and stuff. And this is a story that Paul wants me to tell, is that I was always like so nice to every customer. Not that I cared about making sales. I just like,
you're a nice person.
Yeah, like I feel like it's our responsibility to treat our fellow man with decency.
Interesting theory.
Otherwise, you might, you know, kind of be a bad person, but that's just whatever. That's your decision or whatever. So anyway, so like people do these like kind of like sad sack characters on the boulevard.
Yes, people dress up
in dirty superhero
in front of the Chinese theater and the surrounding environs as famous characters. A lot of superheroes. You'll see like a Pikachu. You'll see a Minion. You know, you'll see all kinds of things like that. You'll see
like, you know, a Superman.
The worst, I think, are the Marilyns, because they never look like Marilyn Monroe. I
don't particularly like, you know, the Johnny Depp pirate
Captain Jack Sparrow.
I don't like that one. That doesn't belong there.
I remember one time I saw in my old neighborhood, which was not far from the Chinese theater, I saw walking down the street a guy who was in his Incredible Hulk costume, except for the head. So it's this big puffy outfit, and then just his little human head sticking out of it.
I have a friend that made like a comedic short about the like being one of the so I was like giving makeovers to people, and the Charlie Chaplin of the boulevard turns out is a lady. And she had like combination skin or something and wanted to try something. So I was like sticking mascara on her and stuff, and like having a like normal pitched conversation with a full on Charlie Chaplin person.
Yeah.
Like
in her outfit
yeah. And mustache and everything. Yeah. Like, well, this is supposed to be good for blemishes or whatever.
I have combination skin. It's slapstick and pathos. Is there a soap you could recommend?
I just have to say, like, when I first got to Hollywood, like, there was kind of a joy in the tragedy of it. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm from like the South. There's a lot of eccentric weirdos from my upbringing that were just like accepted, you know, like it was just like, well, he's one bubble off plum or whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and so like when I got here, I felt very comfortable. Like it felt familiar to me.
Yeah.
You know? And but it also is sad. Like there's a lot of broken dreams here. I might be one of them.
We all could be.
I could be one. I might be one of them. TBC, guys. TBC.
I know what you mean
saying?
because you sort of what you embrace about the seediness is like it's a sort of in for a penny, in for a pound kind of feeling of like I want to see it all. I want to know that this is part of it.
Yeah.
I want to know that I am part of that too. You know that there's struggle and there's disappointment.
You don't want to be disillusioned.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be because that's the tragedy. Right?
Oh,
the
yeah.
tragedy comes from the disillusionment.
And that's kind of the thing that you have to struggle with all the not struggle with all the time, but you have to be mindful of all the time is am I being at any point delusional?
I think what's so weird about like chasing a dream that is like a Hollywood dream, right? Which is such a cliche. Like we all have an idea of what that is. There has to be a little bit of delusion.
Absolutely.
But there also has to be a hard dose of reality.
Yes.
It has to coexist with one another.
Yeah.
Now, if the reality takes over or the disillusionment or the delusion takes over, that's when it becomes toxic and sad.
Yeah.
If one or the other pushes the other side out.
There's also the idea that your dreams and desires change over time. That when you're younger, I think you think a lot about, you think more about fame.
Yeah.
And then when you get older and it just becomes your job, you're like, oh yeah, I just want to work. I just want to do interesting things and I want to support myself.
See, I think I switched because I never wanted fame. Like I wanted to be like.
But now you do.
Well, now I'm like, is that a quicker route? Because like, I always wanted to be, I mean, I don't want fame, but I'm just saying like, I always wanted to be like, like Mark Ruffalo. Like I wanted a career that was like super respected.
Yeah. But you wanted, yes, but you wanted to be known.
In the field, not outside, not on the street.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But I guess when I think of fame, I think of it not so much as like being stopped at a restaurant, but more like I would dream of being interviewed, like I dreamed of.
Like the Johnny Carson show.
Exactly. That kind of stuff, that people would know who I was,
Well, like I would dream of being interviewed, but like on Inside the Actor's Studio. You know what I mean?
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
Oh, good one. We haven't had that one. All right, we should take a... Wait, I was going to say something. We should take a break.
Oh, we didn't describe the tangled part.
No, that little cliffhanger. Hey, you want to hear us talk about that party? By the way, it's not a big story.
There's just like free food, and that's worth mentioning. But tune in after a word.
From our sponsors.
Care of is a wellness brand that makes it easy to maintain your health goals with a customized vitamin plan that helps you feel your best today and supports you long term. Take a break from your life and take Care of's in-depth 5-minute online quiz where you get asked questions about your diet, lifestyle, and health concerns to help address your specific wellness goals. I took this quiz and it was so much fun. Care of will make recommendations that come in daily individually wrapped packets that are perfect for getting back into a routine. Make taking better care of your health a commitment and make it super easy with Care of. Look, I did it and it was so convenient having my recommended individually wrapped cute packets sent to me every month for a commitment to wellness. So for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code HOMEKINS50. That's takecareof.com and enter HOMEKINS50 for 50% off your first Care of order. Looking for some weekend water? Well, we are so proud to be sponsored once again by Usual Wines. Usual Wines are for the modern drinker. And as you know, each bottle is 6.3 ounces, a heavy pour, or about a glass and a half of wine. No more pouring wine down the sink when you don't want to finish the bottle. Because of the single serve format and bottle design, Usual is always fresh. No more flat bubbly or stale rosé. The wines are low carb and have 0 grams of sugar. So go check out their red blend, their rosé, their sparkling white wine called Brut. They also have a Usual Spritz, which is a low alcohol, 8.5% ABV, low calorie wine spritzer. So go check out their website at www.usualwines.com and use code stayfhomekins for $8 off your first order and try your first glass on us. That's usualwines.com. Discount code stayfhomekins, $8 off.
I remember my thought in talking about the delusion and the, whatever of Hollywood, that I think one of the most telling things that I've ever seen that sums up Hollywood perfectly is at the Greyhound bus station that's in Hollywood proper says, "Welcome to Hollywood" on the entrance. So
that is some cynical.
As your dreams are crushed,
some cynical shit right there.
As your dreams are crushed, and you're going to go back home to Iowa. The last thing you see is
shit.
"Welcome to Hollywood."
That's not.
It's perfect.
I'm kind of falling in love with Hollywood as we're talking about this because I do today was actually kind of a stunningly beautiful day in LA. We had a lot of rain in the morning and this storm moved through, and every now and then there's this mysticism that you'll feel in the air, like in Los Angeles. I mean, because we're in a desert, we're in this crazy climate, and I don't know, just of course I miss going places.
Man,
today would have been the kind of day I would have been it would have been perfect to hike up to Griffith Park. Yeah. Especially tomorrow mornings. After it rains in LA, if you go on a hike up to one of the tops of the hills, you can see the ocean. Even if you're 20 miles away from it. And it's just one of those magical days where you feel I don't care if I don't book any of these auditions, and you're because you're I'm here.
I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah. I'm here and I fucking made it, and I can pay my bills, and I can eat rice and beans for dinner tonight, and I'm not at the bus station yet, you know? And so there are these moments of living here that are kind of just universal, I think, among people in our industry.
I think also because we are in an industry where so much of your identity is work, and every once in a while you have days like that where you can get up to the top of a big hill and you can see the ocean from where you're standing. And you think of this as, oh, this is my home. This is not just a place that I live because of a job. This is my home. I live here every day, and it's nice. It's pretty. And it's nice to look at.
It's so different than living when I was in New York. And there is an advantage to being an actor in New York than here.
Law and Order.
Oh, well, you get to audition more. I mean, you really do get to audition more. The last time I lived in New York, I think I was on the subway 10 times a day. I was all over the place.
Yeah.
And it was just easier to get into rooms there than it is here.
Right.
Here you got to really work hard to get into the rooms. But there are days in New York where I literally was you fucking win. I'd come home at the end of some insane day where I needed 10 different types of weather clothing that I didn't have on me or something, and people spit in my face or I'd see some the most down and out elements of humanity that people just glaze, don't look at and step over on the subway.
Yeah.
And then I would get home and I'm you got me.
I had that feeling.
You fucking got me.
So many times when we were living there.
You fucking got. But in LA, if you have a day like that, and you do have some days like that,
Yeah.
where you have like humiliated, like you go to an audition and you're like humiliated, or like, you know, or you're like, oh my gosh, like if I book this pilot, like my fortunes are going to change like so much. And like you find out like in front of the other 3 people, like you didn't get it, like right there.
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and then you're like, okay, that sucks. But then like you go home and then you're like, oh, well, you know, so-and-so around the corner wants to have wine and cheese, or, you know, it can turn around like so swiftly here. Whereas that was not the case in my experience in New York.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I will say that in New York, things can very quickly go from bad to worse. Wait, so
the point of my story with the Hollywood and Highland Mall was that, you know, like I was like there slinging creams for minimum wage or whatever, like, and you know, and I was driving that $900 Saab I found on Craigslist that had the broken trunk latch that would fly up when I would be driving it, and I'd have to stop, get out of the driver's seat, and slam the hood down. But so then when Paul got invited to this Tangled premiere, first of all, we had not been to the El Capitan, so that we were like, this is just like a beautiful.
No,
like,
I had been there before.
Oh, I had not.
Come on, I saw the other sister there. I saw the alcoholism drama When a Man Loves a Woman there.
I had not been there. But then they were like, and the premiere party is across the street at the Hollywood and Highland Mall. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's funny. My old stomping grounds, you know?
Yeah.
And so we walk across the street to this like, you know, hidden banquet hall. I guess it's over like that Kodak Theater place.
Yes, which was supposed to be the permanent
Academy.
home for the Oscars.
Yeah, why? It wasn't big enough or something?
I don't know. They did it like a few times and then it's somewhere else now. I forget. Yeah.
Okay, so we walk in and I could not believe it. It was like totally magically lit up, like fairy lights and harp music. I mean, I'm like making this up, but like it's not. I'm not like, no, could not believe
Here's
it.
the thing: like when you go to the a Hollywood party that's connected with a show or a movie or whatever, the tendency is to make the party like a nightclub,
like a.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's loud. The music is really loud. It's dark. You have to shout to talk to people. And it's kind of a drag because you want to, you're there to celebrate something. You're not there to like pick people up. You know what I mean? Hey, look, maybe you are. And God love you. Good
But
luck.
this was more of a family friendly affair.
Because it was a kid's movie.
Because people had brought their kids.
You walked in and the lighting was perfect.
Soft.
It was like it was soft lighting. The music was at a perfect volume. Like they were playing regular old music, but it was at a perfect volume.
Game stations for the kids.
Yeah,
they had
the
like
food
braiding.
was great.
They braided little girls' hair.
I know they were doing like it was so cute. It was adorable.
It was like insane. It was like everywhere you looked was a different thing, like in every corner.
But it was still a grown up party. Like,
and there were
you know
places
what I mean?
to sit. That was like
yes,
another
there were
thing.
places to sit. Yes.
Because remember that Star Wars premiere? Don't want to complain.
To be fair,
Cuckoo.
hi Cuckoo.
Turn the levels up now.
I want.
Some people can hear Cuckoo. Some people can't. What time? Is it midnight? What the fuck? Jesus.
That was a test of the Cuckoo sound system. Did you hear Cuckoo? Raise your hand. So that party was great. When we went to we got invited to the premiere of The Last Jedi.
That was a cool premiere.
Favorite Star Wars film.
Not gonna lie.
And the theater, here's the thing. That theater was vast. Like it was huge.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever been in a movie theater that big.
No, and that's the only way we would get invited.
And it was like the craziest like riser seats where like you're walking straight up a mountain. And you're looking like down into a bowl.
It was like Dodger Stadium, like upper level kind of like that level of steep.
Somewhere like downtown or something.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It was so exciting. It was so exciting to go to this thing.
Outside they had all these like life-size like Star Wars things.
They had like like one of those big walkers.
Yeah,
like
that thing was crazy.
Under it.
We got pictures. We'll put them on the
We'll put some pictures, yeah. But we were walking in and we see like the cast like doing interviews in various places. And I got to see Daisy Ridley, my favorite.
He has a crush on Daisy Ridley.
No, I have a paternal crush on her. She was teaching a little girl how to like hold a lightsaber.
It was really sweet.
It was like the most perfect thing to see. And then the movie was great, loved it. And then we went to the party afterwards, which was...
By the way, the food was good.
I
will give him that.
It was delicious.
There was like short ribs.
Yes, it was like proper food.
But there was nowhere to sit.
Because this place, it was such a huge party. And I had never been... I don't think I've ever been to a quote-unquote party this big.
There were also like casino tables set up.
Yeah, because there was a casino in the movie. And so there was a lot going on. And so we couldn't find a place to sit, but they had tables like high tables all over the place.
And we couldn't find a high table because they didn't have enough.
Honey, do you know what I'm remembering?
That we had to stand by the fucking trash cans.
Ate by the trash can.
That's what I was trying to tell you. That's why I was saying it was good.
Isn't
there was a place
it fun
to sit.
that we got to hear this way?
Because also I was carrying a clutch purse, and then if you go
you
go through the buffet. So now you have a drink and a plate and a fork and a clutch purse.
Not on my watch.
So how are you supposed to, and then you should be holding the plate in the left hand and then your fork in the right, but you've got your drink in the left hand. I mean, you need a table.
You need a table.
That's what I'm saying. But there were only I want to say 3 of those tall They grossly undercounted.
There were more than 3, but there was
grossly undercounted.
There was a ton of people there. I think also we gave up the search for a table and we were just like, we're hungry, let's fucking eat.
Also, by the way, they had that dessert table and like coffee station in the lobby. Remember that?
Yeah.
I am all about the free food.
Did we kind of get lost trying to get out of there?
Food tastes better than paid for food.
Oh, you know what the best is? Stolen food. The most delicious.
No, not stolen. Just free. You're at a party or something. I don't know. It's just like a work event and there's free food. It's like a thrill.
I get what you're saying.
That's just my theory.
Mm-hmm. That's a good theory. I think I agree with you, and I think a lot of other people will agree with you as well. Let's talk about where we are right now. I am
Los
definitely
Angeles.
Just let it just sit for a sec.
This is where we are. Paul wants to kill me.
No, honey, no.
Because we're having a pandemic wall.
Yeah, we're hitting a wall, and I'm like, the thing is, hearing that the vaccine is close to,
I think it makes it a harder wait.
Happening.
It's a harder wait.
It does,
because we know it's there. We're just not. Yeah. We're just not our turn yet. We have to wait our fucking turn.
But here's what it also is the feeling of that the vaccine is not going to be. It's not like you get the vaccine and then, I got nothing to worry about now. There's still going to be.
You still could give it to someone vulnerable. Yeah, you can still give the virus to someone vulnerable, and you don't want to do that.
I guess I can't construct in my mind a timeline of when I can hug my friends again, or when
if all the friends are vaccinated, you can hug, because then you can't you're not going to kill somebody. The idea is that the vaccine prevents death. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I got it.
So, if I'm fully vaccinated and my friend is fully vaccinated, if I hug them, even if there's COVID involved, I'm not going to kill them and they're not going to kill me. Okay, it's the same as flu. Right.
So, yeah, understood. But so it's not. If we're both vaccinated, that doesn't mean that we cannot transmit it. Is that correct?
That is correct. But But the danger isn't necessarily transmitting it to another vaccinated person. The danger then becomes transmitting it to a vulnerable, unvaccinated person. So, for example, like once you have the vaccine, that will afford you entree into certain events,
into vaccine spaces.
That's exactly right. But if you're going out in the public, like on a subway, and you don't know who on that subway has been vaccinated or not, you're going to want to wear your mask.
Right.
Because even though you're protected from death of COVID, the old person.
But this also turns on other people understanding that and doing the right thing. Which they're not now.
Wait, so when you say doing the right thing, you mean...
I'm saying there are people that are going to get the vaccine. And they're going to say, oh, now I'm fine. And they're not going to wear a mask. And they're going to go out.
And they're going to spread it to people who are going to die.
Absolutely.
Well, you think that? Because I think that...
For sure.
If they're like conscientious enough to get the vaccine, that they would be
They're not
mindful.
doing it. They're not getting the vaccine to be conscientious. They're getting the vaccine for their own reasons. Which is fair. We all are. I'm not getting the vaccine. My number one thought when I get the vaccine is not, I want to do this for other people. I want to get this fucking vaccine.
But you kind of are doing it for other people too.
I know. I understand that. I recognize that. But I'm saying
you're
that's
saying like,
not,
I don't want to have to fear dying if I get COVID because I might have a system that can't handle COVID and put me in the fucking hospital. So now if you get the vaccine, you don't have that extra fear. Now you can fear the other things that you could die of.
It'd be nice to go back to that.
Now I can start Googling my symptoms on WebMD that lead me down the cancer path.
But you know what else?
Just like everybody else.
It's that it's that the rollout of the vaccine has been so bad and so it's not going well.
It's a double-edged sword because the idea that we have these vaccines this soon, less than a year in, is like fucking miracle. But then watching like human error bungle it is fucking excruciating.
Yeah.
Because we should have been like getting our fucking ducks in a row, like getting this all set up and ready to rumble. And we didn't have anyone minding the goddamn store.
No. And I think blaming the previous person in charge only goes so far. And, because here in Los Angeles, we've had the same people in charge. And it's
but they
been
have
really
not had
bad.
They have not had federal. I'm not excusing them because, this is the kind of thing where there needed to be a Herculean coordinated effort. And it was just like Hunger Games. But that said, it's not going to be that way the whole time. Like, if they're going to figure some shit out. Like, there's already new vaccines coming out.
How long? I mean,
it's going to feel like 12 years when it's like 12 weeks or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It's all still a mess. I'm glad. I'm glad your dad and his wife got their vaccinations. I'm glad your mom,
my brother,
has gotten her first. Yeah, I'm glad that your brother has gotten he's gotten both, right?
Both, yeah.
So I'm happy about that, and I'm happy that it's underway.
I mean,
but I'm having a hard time.
I'm happy and I'm jealous.
Yeah,
obviously, but like I'm also happy. Like there's some weight taken off of like knowing like my dad, who's 80, is now. He's been got his second jab, and like,
but for me, I'm saying that I'm having a difficult time with the messiness of everything right now.
Well, and some of the news on it is really fucking bad.
Yeah,
because like here in California, and you're right, it is a shit show here. People like now they're telling some seniors who had their first shot. They have to wait past the recommended 28 days. And it's like, that should not have happened. Like, and they're like people that had second appointments and then they ripped the appointments out back. And that's messed up. And then, and then there's like stories of like seniors who don't know how to navigate the website stuff to even get the appointments.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's very difficult to witness.
Yeah.
Because these are people who've been waiting and in a much more vulnerable place than we are.
Yeah.
And you want them to be taken care of.
Yeah.
You know? And it makes me mad. I mean, like, I wish there was some kind of way I could be like, I'll help y'all get appointments. Cause like I got my mom her appointment. Mm-hmm. Like she gave me her password.
Yeah.
And I went into her, like her medical.
Right.
She like fussed about that, man.
Did she really? She didn't like you having the password?
Now you're going to have access to my medical records. And I was like, I don't give a fuck about your medical records. I was like, you may as well just give it to me now because you're going to forget it again. But like she couldn't figure it out, you know? Yeah. And so like I was like, and I knew like with every second she was like, where does it say, oh, what was my password? You know, and like I'm like in my mind, I'm like, there goes 10 appointments. There goes the next 10 appointments. Yeah. There goes you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I was just like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Like, Mom, just give me your fucking password. I was like, good.
That's like if you're trying to you get a cheap flight and you're trying to book it before it goes away. Yes. But you have to coordinate with other, like the people on the other end or whatever.
Yes. I was like, I'm not kidding. I was like crying. I was like,
it's like uncut gems.
I was like, please just tell me. Because also then she was like, I clicked on it, but it says unavailable. And I'm like, because it took you 10 fucking minutes to figure out what button.
I will now. You be nice about my mother-in-law.
Then she told my brother. She's like, I told your brother all about you getting me the appointment. And I was like, oh, did you tell him I like lost my mind? And she was like, no. I told him you got it for me and I'm all set. And I was like, okay.
No, she told him.
And like in my family, all they do is talk about
Janie
each other.
Janie was fussing at me.
Oh my God.
I can hear her. I love her so much.
Anyway, the point is, and you know what? We're already lucky because we're here in America, like in third world, like
absolutely.
You know, like some of these countries, they don't even have the orders for these.
Yeah, I know.
And everything depends on everybody getting it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's this is not just like, oh, everyone we know has to do their part. It's like the whole world has to be in on this.
Then you have people like fucking RFK Jr. who's spreading.
Who's that?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Oh, that guy. Oh, he's against the COVID?
He's an anti-vaxxer. He started out. I feel like he started out as like an environmentalist, and now he's heavy into anti-vaxxing. And you know, he was talking about like after Hank Aaron died.
Anti-vaxxers are cuckoo.
Yeah, he was talking about how it's this mysterious rash of elderly people dying after they get the vaccine. And it's like,
what?
Is it mysterious that elderly people are dying?
It's like some of those elderly people were actually dying of COVID. Like Larry King just died of COVID. And like they were hospitalized due to COVID.
Yeah. So it's like, if a bunch of people in their 40s were dying after getting the vaccine, I would say that's mysterious. But I think that people
here's what I don't understand about
90s.
Anti-vaxxers. This is what I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why is risking the vaccine medicine worse than risking this disease that we have all these like stats on?
Right. Well,
that doesn't make sense to me.
Because they would show you other stats that would say that the cure is worse than the disease. You know, like they.
I get that it's sort of like inorganic to take a medicine when you're healthy, because that's what a vaccine is. That's why they're hard to test.
Yes,
because you're testing a healthy population.
Yes,
but you're testing a healthy population in the middle of a disease running wild.
Yeah. So
it's kind of like not that inorganic if you think about it.
Yeah, what's so weird to me is not weird to me, but the difficult thing for me about it is that it's right to be skeptical of a lot of things, you know, and I think it's right to question.
Sure.
A lot of things.
Of course.
Especially you're talking about your health. You're talking about somebody injecting something into you.
Yes.
But it very quickly goes down a road that is unhelpful and dangerous.
I also think, like, if you're having those fears, like, keep it to yourself. Do your own research. Don't try to, like, spread some gospel of cuckoo land.
Well, but they don't think it's the gospel of cuckoo land. You know what I mean? No offense, cuckoo.
I also am like, I feel like I've taken things at parties that were way less tested than any like world, any like Operation Warp Speed. Anything.
You don't think the FDA looked over that Molly?
I've been at salad bars more questionable.
That's true. That's every salad bar, by the way.
I actually do have evidence for that.
I remember,
God
your
knows.
beloved Soup Plantation, R.I.P.
I know. I love Soup Plantation. Don't like the name.
The first time
Don't like the name.
Don't like the name. Also, they were, because what were they called? Green tomatoes, red
No,
tomatoes?
they're sweet
What were they
tomatoes.
called? Sweet tomatoes.
Here's the thing. First of all, okay, Soup Plantation, there was one in Dallas that was not that, and it was called Super Salad. Super Salad, okay? This is a...
S-U-P-E-R or S-O-U-P-E-R?
S-O-U-P-E-R.
Fun.
Because it's soup or salad.
Oh, I get it.
But it's actually really soup and salad. Anyway.
Well, no, because you're often presented with that choice. Would you like soup or salad?
But not a super salad. You get to have it all. Because it's like you pay.
Don't do a commercial. They're not paying us.
Because buffets are. So, wait, here's the thing. So you go in, you pay your one fee.
Mm-hmm.
It's all you can eat.
Fee. Everyone knows what a buffet is.
So they moved to LA and they're like, oh, Soup Plantation, which is essentially the same concept.
Yes, buffet.
Soup and salad buffet.
With but of course with other things. It's not
There's
like only
pizzas.
soup. Don't
there's
list them.
Muffins.
Don't list them.
There's this salsa. Okay. So I'm like, oh, Soup Plantation, that's weird. I'm in California, not South Carolina. Why are they calling it that? This is offensive. It's offensive to me.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And I am from offensiveness where I grew up. There's a lot of offensiveness. And not from me. I try not to be offensive, but I'm just saying that was not a good name, Soup Plantation.
No, it was not.
But then
especially when like east of the Mississippi or whatever, they were called
sweet tomatoes.
Sweet tomatoes.
Okay, so then I sign up because then you remember Lindsay Tall. She's like a model.
Lindsay Tall.
She's a comedy writer. She wrote on like Bob's Burgers, maybe. God, why am I blanking on her name? I would love her. Like, she's like tall and she looks like a model, but she's a comedy writer.
Her name is Lindsay?
Oh my God. Why do you not know? You know everybody.
I can't think of who this is. I can't think of who this is.
Anyway, so I ran into her and we started talking about Soup Plantation. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, you know about the emailing list, right? And I was like, no. And she was like, if you sign up for the Sweet Tomatoes, because that's the owner of the franchise, is Sweet Tomatoes.
Right.
If you sign up for the Sweet Tomatoes emailing list once a week, you get coupons for Soup Plantation. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. So I go and I sign up, and that was like my jam. Like, I love Soup Plantation.
You took many of your personal meetings there. Also, do you say coupon?
Coupons.
I never noticed that before. I say coupon.
Philly. Take the boy out of Philly.
You can take the girl out of the plantation.
Well, anyway, the funniest thing was at the beginning of the pandemic, Soup Plantation did not make it. Which, by the way, it sucked because they had like 4,000 employees.
Yeah.
So those are like a lot of jobs that were
Absolutely.
just gone.
Absolutely.
Like, almost like overnight.
It's wild that a germ-based business didn't survive.
I had ideas on how it could be COVID.
Oh, I bet you did.
I was like, there's a way to make this COVID safe. I know it. But okay, so then
A cough guard in addition to the sneeze guard.
So then when all of the like racial justice awareness happened over the summer and like people were like, oh, we're going to change Aunt Jemima or whatever. And they're going to change Dixie Chicks are now the chicks and like Lady Antebellum's Lady A or whatever. Like they were like, these are like.
Is it true they changed Aunt Jemima to Auntie Jemima?
I think they changed on Aunt Jemima.
They made her look different, right? I don't remember Aunt Jemima, the change of Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, I think they changed the like logo of not like a person. It's like just maybe a symbol now or something. I don't know what it is. Maybe they changed the name. Look, I'm not in charge of these brand, things. I just know that.
Fair enough.
I just know that people were being more thoughtful and they were saying like, you know what, Dixie Chicks, like Dixie is like an old South, whatever.
Lady A. That was kind of I found it an enjoyable time when people were saying, and I think a lot of people were saying, were poo-pooing it and saying, like, is that really the biggest thing right now to focus on? But there was kind of an enjoyable.
It didn't matter.
There was a satisfying thing of people saying, "Hey, yeah, right. This has been this for too long."
I can understand the criticism of like big whoop. Like you changed a name. People are still dying at the hands of police, of Nazis and who carry a gun or whatever. Like. It's like yes and no. Like you can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And like examine these sort of like cultural embedded messages that might be, so ingrained and so invisible to us now that we should pay attention to them. Anyway, this is all about soup plantation. That somebody tweeted. That they were robbed of the chance to rename their restaurant because they closed in April.
Yeah.
And then all this stuff happened in June. Yeah. And they didn't, they were like, what a shame. Soup plantation
canceled for the wrong reason.
I was like, but in my mind, I was like, well, maybe they can reopen in a post-COVID world.
I mean, is Sweet Tomatoes still open?
Well, no buffets are open, right? I mean, that can't be.
I mean, are they still like alive?
I don't think so because I think it was all the same company.
Right. No, it was all the same. I know, but.
What are you asking then? I've answered your question.
Jesus. It's like a few good men.
Are you listening?
Yeah,
you want me on that wall.
I'm saying that because it is a chain, was the problem, did every single store shut down or were they able to keep some still going?
The whole chain shut down. The whole thing folded.
Yeah.
The whole thing just totally.
It's rough stuff, man.
Folded.
It's rough stuff.
Listen.
What should they have called themselves?
Well, there's soup. And there's salad. There's soup, there's salad, there's soft serve. There was pizza, there were muffins.
What if they do not? If you get into the beverages, I'll be so mad.
They had hot tea, they had coffee, they had that hibiscus, they had that peach black iced tea that's really fucking good.
How about this? Soup plan.
Why? Like you're making a plan?
It's a little wink.
You're making a plan to
the
have
former
some soup?
name, but it's also like this sounds like a plan. At Soup Plan, we have more than just soup. We have muffins, pizza, soft serve. We have hot tea.
I had like the baked potatoes with the fixins.
Jacket potatoes? Do they have jacket potatoes?
But I'm telling, I get those coupons. It was only $8.99. All you can eat.
You said coupon. I heard you.
Because you made me.
Phantom thread. All right. We got to wrap it up.
It's a coupon.
It's a coupon.
No. What is it? Decoupage?
It is decoupage. Do you say decoupage? That one I've never heard in my life.
I don't say decoupage. I'm saying when you say coupon, it sounds like you're saying decoupage, and it's not. It's a totally different word. It's a totally different situation.
No. It's COU.
Coupon.
Coupon. Do you say coup d'etat? Do you remember when they stormed the Capitol? They tried to do a Q.
Oh, it is Q. QAnon.
That just gave me chills.
Oh,
QAnon.
I didn't tell you about my dream that I had.
Oh my God. Now, I did say let's wrap it up.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
when
I
did
absolutely
you say
did.
that?
This is perfect.
It's only like one line.
Okay. There's a one-line dream. There's an elevator pitch for this dream. Give me the elevator pitch. What's this dream? I'm very busy.
Okay. I was like watching a White House press briefing live.
Fun dream so far.
An armed gunman came in and took everybody hostage.
Oh my God.
And I started hyperventilating and crying, and I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, come in, you have to watch, like from the other room and stuff. And I was like, this is terrible. Like, this is like happening, like right in front of our eyes. And it's like awful.
How did I look in the
dream?
I
woke up.
Oh, so you didn't get to see me?
You looked really good.
Okay, that's all I need to hear. All right, let's wrap it up. Do you have recommendations?
Oh my God. Do I have any?
Do you or no?
Meh.
I have one. It could be our joint recommendation.
Oh, can it? How do you know I like it?
What is this? We're so close to the end.
I don't know.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
And you can co-sign this.
Okay.
Or you can, and maybe you'll come up with your own as well.
Maybe I will.
The movie The White Tiger.
Oh, yes. That was really thought-provoking.
Yes. I really enjoyed it.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Very good film.
Also,
great performances.
I guess it's based on a book, but I had not heard of the book.
I had not heard of the book
either.
So
I didn't know anything about it.
Yes. We went into it completely fresh.
Oh, my God. The guy who was the main kid in it was so good.
So good.
I was like amazed at his performance.
Priyanka Chopra Jonas is in it.
Oh, yeah. She's like really pretty.
She is. And she does a great job in the movie.
No, she's really good in the movie. Yeah.
But so The White Tiger on Netflix, absolutely worth checking out. I also want to re-up a recommendation since I've listened to more episodes of this podcast. Liletta and Morena, our friend Holly Crosby, she and her friend Mandy have this podcast that's about divorce. And it's, I am like almost caught up. I have 3 more to go to be caught up to current. Mm-hmm. But it's really enjoyable. I love hearing them talk, and you don't have to be married or divorced to enjoy it. I think it's a great examination of relationships and friendship and stuff like that. It's really, it's not dissimilar to what we do. They just talk about whatever they get a little thematic about stuff they want to talk about, but it's not, it doesn't feel like stifling or anything. It's very loose and enjoyable.
Listen to one, and so I'm behind, and I need to get back into it.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So there you go. Do you have anything or no?
I don't think I do. Isn't that lame? I can't remember anything I read, listened to, or watched this week out.
Hey man, it's all right. They got a couple recommendations.
Like,
what are we going to smother them with recommendations?
I mean, I know maybe I'll think of something after, but I was like, I don't even know. I'm hanging on by a thread.
Honey, I feel the same way. All right. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Check out our merch.
Kinshipgoods.com. Link in our Instagram bio. We are stayfhomekins on Instagram and Twitter. And stayfhomekins@gmail.com if you want to email us.
And we're at Buzzsprout.
That's who hosts our podcast. Yes.
And I post that link every night that our episode drops. I post it on our Twitter feed.
Yeah. Let me say this though: if you listen on Apple Podcasts, you listen on a place that has reviews. Throw us a review. Throw us 5 stars. You know what I mean?
Sure. Why not?
It helps us out.
Yeah. What is it? How does it help us?
It makes the podcast more visible.
Oh, like it might nudge it.
Yeah.
Like it might nudge it into.
Yes, exactly, into the stratosphere. But we thank, as
also,
always,
we appreciate all of the awesome emails that you send us at stayfhomekins@gmail.com.
We really do. And we thank
people
you for listening.
Send us pictures. I love people send us pictures of their pets and their family, and it's nice.
Yeah. When people send us
it's
pictures,
nice to have that,
they
like,
bought
connection.
like a shirt or something, and they're
they do that on Instagram for sure
it's
too.
really nice.
And sometimes we post those in our stories if we can catch them in time.
But we are very grateful, very appreciative, and we will be back next week.
Guys, we're stuck here until we can get that vaccine.
Yeah, that's right. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay home.
Like, for real, if you can.
Yeah, really. If you can, stay home.
Like, don't risk it. We're so close.
Yes.
Take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Wear some masks.